Hello friends, this is Ganesh and video number 7 on ABAP and HANA. In this video we are going to see interesting operators called conditional operators. So we are good enough with the concepts, but with the new syntax we are going to see how we can implement the conditional operator with the different forms, or I can say how we can do a conceptions and what we can do with the helper variable. So everything in one. So we'll see one by one. Let me go to the first slide. Yep. So condition operators, we have condition and switch. Okay, so normally we have if and case, right? So the same way we have condition and switch. So condition operator is mainly work for any logical expressions as well as the constant value. So I want to check the value of a variable, different values of a variable, or I want to do some logical expression greater than this, less than this, not equal to this. So both are applicable with the keyword or operator called COND. And the another operator is switch operator, switch conditional operator. Here the switch conditional has some restrictions. We can use only the constant value comparison. We are not able to use any logical expressions with switch, and that is one of the restriction. Another one is we can't use a helper variable. It's nothing but let. So I can on the flow I can declare a variable and assign a value to it, and then I can use the same variable for my logical expression. So that is not possible in switch operator. So these are the two things we are going to see over here. Let's see one by one. I'll start with COND operator syntax, then we'll go to switch. So very basic syntax of COND is you have to use condition. So one second. And you have to use a data type or slash. We have seen this in a value operator as well. So you can use any data type. Is normally we used a table type over there. So here you can use any data type, or you can say any data element like character, integer, or I want to use matner, SPRAS. It depends on your requirement. So you can use whatever you want, or you can go with the as symbol as well. So whenever you want to use the as, you're not sure about the data type of your result, then go with this particular operator as. Otherwise, you can go with the data type if you know what is the actual data type of your value. And the syntax is when within the bracket. So parentheses you have to use when logical expressions are constant. Okay. And if this is true, then it goes to result 1. Otherwise, it goes to next one when logical expression constant, then result, and you have an option to use else as well. Okay, else result. Else is optional. So one when operator, one statement is mandatory. After that, the second when is everything is optional. Depends on your requirement. If you want, you can use it. The next one is let. So let is nothing but a helper variable. So inside the if conditional operator or conditional statement, I want to use some value. Okay, so helper variable is nothing but on the flow you can declare it. You don't want to declare before this one, and you can assign a value. The value may be a constant value or a dynamic value. You can get it from your screen value and pass it to this helper variable. Then I'm going to use the helper variable for this logical expressions. So here when logical expression with this helper variable, it's like anything in the logical expression like greater than, equal, not equal, that is the operator. You can use it over here, and then the result. Okay, and another one is you can throw an exception in the else part. Suppose if this is not satisfied, you want to create expression, you can go with the message, it's up to you, or if you want to throw an exception, that is also possible using the else. So else throw exception. So there is no relation between let and exception. You can use an exception wherever you want. Any of these three syntax, wherever you want, you can create an exception or throw an exception from your condition operator. Okay, and the switch is almost same. Only difference is it needs an operand before your when statement. So switch, same data type or hash symbol, and then bracket, parenthesis, then you can use the operator, operand, and then the value of the operand, it should be constant. So here you can have and or, same way in the previous also you can use and as well. So more than one logical condition, more than one constant. The same thing you can applicable in switch as well. So here also you can say constant 1 or constant 2 and constant 3, whatever it is, and then results. Okay, so here also you have an option of passing a message as an else part, or you can throw an exception in your else part. Okay, so these are almost condition and switches same, but only difference we can see over here is if you want to use only the constant for an operand, go with the switch, and your requirement involves more logical expression and constant, better you go with condition operator. Okay, so let's see one by one with detailed examples in the system. So let me take you to the system. So here, this is the program. I just return only the select statement. Go to the pretty printer. So here, what I'm going to do is, I just did select the details from different table AUFK and JST with inner join, and the join condition is object number between the order table and the gist. So I want to know the status based on the condition operator. I'm going to update my internal table with some hard-coded values initially. So that is my first example. And going forward, please start write a select query based on the new syntax. Like you have to use the select from, what are the tables, if you have any joins, and those things comes in the first line. And then you have to use the fields keyword to access or to add the field names. Here we are using joins, but you don't want to specify the alias name for the fields, so that it will take automatically, so you don't want to do it. And then where condition, and finally you need to know the destination where you want to keep the data. So this is the order of the select. Okay, so hope most of the people you are aware of it. If not, please start write the code like in this way. And now I'm going to write a normal loop. This is for the condition operator. I'm writing this loop. Otherwise, in a select itself, because anyway we are in top of HANA, in ABAP and HANA new versions, you can write this directly to the select statement. But for an example, I'm doing in a loop. Okay, so I'm going to do it orders assigning field symbol. First on the flow, I'm declaring my field symbol orders. Okay. So now, before that, I need one more field here, because I want to have some hard-coded value just to show you how it's updating using the condition operator. So what I'm going to do is I need maybe the field called order status, because this has only the I009, I1213, right? So I want to add the text based on the condition operator. I want to add it. So here what happens, if I execute this, you might aware this order status is additional field which is not from the database table, and if here used only single character, but for me I need at least 10 or 40 characters to hold the value. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to using the casting. So casting we already have seen it, so just for your reference I'm adding over here, and I want this to be 40 characters. So the space is a little important. Okay, so casting, and I want to just this field data type was be character 40. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is over here, let's go to the condition. So fs orders, and the order status equal to condition. It would be character 40, right? So I'll just go with character. It's a data element, character 40, or you can go with ash, not an issue. When I'm going to use a normal kind of a constant comparison over here. So fs order status equal to I00. Okay, let's see, 10. Okay, if it is case, then I can say I'm not sure what is the actual value, but I just go with, okay, these are partially conformed. Okay, I can say partial, okay, because it will go out of the recording, so I'll just close it partial. Otherwise, the another one, if it is not, when fs order status equal to i0013, then I can say final. And finally, if you want, I just go the else part, else released some value, close it. It's a very simple example. Okay, so let me act toward it and execute. We'll see how it is getting updated in the database, sorry, internal table. The orders is going to be updated in the orders. So execute. I have a static breakpoint. Let's see how the last field is getting updated. So I have 20,000 records. Just double click. So it's updated over here. So everything is released, and whenever this I0010 is a partial, do you have anything else? No, okay, I think only partial and released. I don't have final. Let's see. Go here, go to your things display in ALV and filter it with final. Nope. So I don't have anything with final. So if I go with partial, I have some data with partial, but there's no data with the final. Okay. Then go back. You can have an or option as well. Suppose if you want to keep or fs orders status equal to I0015. Okay, so you can have and, otherwise you can have or, that is also possible over here. Okay, so this is my first example, simple logical operator with a constant value. Okay, let's act toward it. The next I'm going to have some data for integer calculation. So let me pull it from EKPivot. I want some fields over here. ABLN, NETWR, BRTWR, and date as well. There's no wire conditions. I want just all the data into table IT view. Okay. So now I'm going to. So again, I'm repeating. This can be done in select itself. So just to make sure about to explain the condition operator, I'm using this option. Okay. And then condition operator is not only for a loop, you can do without loop as well. Okay. So here what I'm going to do is let me have one more casting. So now I go with casting for integer. Okay, so integer, I want int 4 or 2, int 2, as so it's in red. Okay, as int 2, and it needs an alias name, and here I can say flag for options. Okay. So now I'm going to receive only integer values, like maybe we can keep as a boolean. So here I'm going to use fs po is equal to condition operator and go with integer when. Okay, let make it one more option here. Yeah, so first let orders, not orders, so PO, and I need what is it, gross value is less than FSPO I'm going to use some logical operation here. Less than this, then the value is 1. If not, the value is 2. If not, else it's 3. Okay. So if it is greater than net value, I'll just keep it as 2, else 3. Okay. So this also passable like integer values. So just a boolean, I want to get it as a result. And here I introduced logical expressions. Maybe you can use, if you want, like equal also you can use. That doesn't make any sense. So because it is not greater, it is not equal, obviously it's equal to only. Okay. Oh, okay. So here the issue is else. So if it is else, we should not use any logical operator. It's a basic functionality. So when this equal to this, then you can pass the value 3. It will hold my option as options. My field name is flag options. So it will hold the values either 1, 2, or 3. Okay. Let's activate it. So you can see the value. So that nothing big here. Internal table. So the value is self options is integer, it's 2, it's 333. Okay, so mostly it's greater. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few dynamic options. Okay, before that I need to introduce a let. Let's see. The same statement, I'm going to introduce a helper variable let. Okay, and I'm going to decide the date. So here I'm going to use let. And here I'm going to use, I'm not sure what is the exact data type. So I just changed to ash. It's not for let. So whenever you want, you can change it. So let, it's on the flow declaration. So whenever you mention over here let, it's going to be declare a variable here. So LV date is equal to 2020, I think a little old data. So I'll go with 2010 0101. Okay, so now I'm going to use my let operator over here. So, and syntax is in. I'm going to use this over here. If this particular date dat equal to or less than the helper variable, lb dat, then I'm going to use this as less than this. Okay, so pass dates and AE date is greater than helper variable LB date, then this is future days, else current date. Else current date. Okay, and this is not going to be suitable because the casting I mentioned as integer. Let me have one more casting over here, the same character I want. So character casting space empty as character 30. Okay, as days, just some name. So here change the option field name as days and execute it. Sorry, activate it first and then execute it. So now it depends on this date, it will automatically calculate. The output is very simple because the functionality is simple. Only the way we are writing is little different. So IPO, so yeah, here it is. So all future dates 2016 and everything, I believe 2010. So maybe if we change 2018 or 17, then you will get a different values over here. Okay, So this is the way which we are using the let. Maybe I can enable this as well. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass some dynamic values over here. Okay. So let me get the dates parameter p underscore date type data, and that is the date. I'm going to pass it here. So p underscore date. Okay. And finally, suppose if these two are not success, is going to be failure, is going to be the else part. So here also you're able to pass the values whatever you are receiving. Either you can use p underscore date or lv underscore date. So these are like, it's not only constant we can use as a result. You can just pass the information from a variable as well. So that is the idea of this change. So I'm using a variable for a helper variable to assign the values, as well as I'm passing the value from a variable. Back to it, execute it. It's okay. Go with 15. Okay, all 16, right? I'll go with 19. Execute. So here now it's changes past dates because of the date has changed. So dynamically I'm just getting, means at the runtime, not dynamically at the runtime I'm getting the values. So that value also you're able to use in your conditional operator. And you can do a data manipulation also. We'll see how to do that. Suppose I want to add some values. Okay. Let me have a casting for in decimal places. So 0 decimal places. I want 7 of 3 as calculated value. Okay, so I used to forget this one. So as decimal 7 of 3 as calculated value. So I want to hold some decimal places. Okay, let's do it here. PO calculated value is equal to, let me have this. So condition maybe with or without let operator. So the same date, whatever it is. So here I'm going to do a manipulation. So then I want the net plus 10 or some manipulations. Okay, so it depends on your requirement. You can also do it. So the idea is it's not only constant value you have to pass as a result. So you can have value variables, or you can have some manipulations of your variable. So whatever it is. Okay. So forget about the logic over here. Okay. Just act toward it. Good. That is an error. I think it'll be that. Calculated value. Calculated value. Sorry. Value. So okay, done. I think one more. No. Toward it. Yeah. Done. Execute. You know the result. Very good result. Okay. Overflow during an arithmetic operator. Yes. This will happen because I'm just doing the calculation, and if the value is more than whatever I specified is 7 of 3. If it is more than, obviously it will go to an overflow. So that needs to be a more, I have to define it. Let's see. Go back to the program. So let me change this to 13. Usually it should be 13 for quantity fields. So let me change this back toward that, and then execute. This time it should go yes. So PO and the calculator values are filled with some values. Okay, so here you can find its actual. Okay, here it is. The actual is 214. I think based on the date it's added 10. It's 224, and here it's added some values 997 and 307, I believe 20. So again, it's 10, it's added. So based on this, it will add your calculator value. So the idea is condition operator accepts constants, logical expressions, and the manipulation. Your result might be manipulations. Everything is over there. You can use and or operator. Probably we used in the beginning. We used here it is. You can use and otherwise or operator. Okay. So these are the examples or properties of conditional operator COND. Okay, let's see what is next. Okay, I want to show, or I want to throw an exception. If it is not satisfied with this, I want to throw an exception. So you can say throw an exception, and you can have a custom or standard exception class. You can use it. Okay, you can have a exception class and messages as well. So here you can't use message directly. You have to use an exception class for throwing an exception. So here, what an exception I have, message fault, a lot of things. 1 second. So here I'm going to use sy conversion no date. Okay, so I believe this is available over here as well. Yes. So this way you are able to throw an exception if you want. Okay. Then what next? So the next is a switch. I already mentioned switch is mostly used for kind of a constant, and we need to use a operand as well. So let me take this example for switch. So here almost the syntax is similar. Switch we are going to use for this as a conditional operator only. So here I can use the operand as orders stat. So this is my operand, and it shows very clearly some issues because it accepts only constants. So just take out this. You can't use any expressions here. So just remove it. But constants can have and an or. Okay, so more than one value also you're able to check like this. So I13 or I15, or you can use AND operator over here, but other than that everything is similar like condition. Okay, so that's it. Switch, same like condition over here, just act toward it. So the result is same. I don't want to execute again and again. The result is same. Whatever you're getting in the condition, same thing you're going to get in switch as well. Okay, and another one, switch also accept exception, so there is no change in your switch. So if you want to raise an exception, so use the same keyword throw an exception. So I'm using an exception which is not at all relevant for the scenario, but just an exception class I used it. Okay, I want to make sure it's the switches accept over here. But here you're not able to use a helper variable for switch. Helper variable we can use only in the conditional operator, not for the switch. Okay, hope this might be useful. And one more time I'm saying it's not only for loop. For an example I used, you can use the same thing for normal conditions as well. And just play around. If you have any doubt, please let me know. I'm happy to help or clear your queries. Thank you so much for your time. See you in the next video.